one thing that Daktari will always emphasize on is that when you get your diet right, you are guaranteed of good health. That tells you that, you know, all these diseases that you would ever imagine, and I mean, you are always safe from. And even if you get sick kidogo, then it does not, you know, put you down 100%. It's just a matter of time and your body is rejuvenated back. So we have looked at a couple of matters that revolve around good nutrition and how then they can help you evade diseases. I mean, for instance, even those ones that are genetical, Daktari says that if you get your foods right, you do your exercise and all that, then you are safe. You can say that perhaps your mom had cancer, but chances are very high that you will not get. So why don't you sit down and listen to this next beat that we are about to, you know, delve into, that equally would be very important. We're saying something and then, well, unfortunately, technical hitch experience, so we apologize for that. But here we are. I don't know whether we can remember where it is that we had left.
We're talking about carbohydrates.
Carbohydrates, yes. And I mean, you were saying that it's not good to have bread in the morning with chai and all that. Get a nice balance so that you're sure. And we're also asking, you know, are there carbohydrates that would be too much for certain individuals and not too much for them? Are there good carbohydrates? Are there those ones that are bad? And you spoke about, you know, most of the foods that have been processed, for instance, that would not give you good, would not give you the right nutrition aspect. I mean, we are talking about GMOs today. We're talking about fortified foods today. In this world that things are moving very fast, are we saying that then we are breeding a society that will be dependent on drugs?
I think that's where we are heading. If you don't check what we are consuming, that's where we are heading. And we will have people, if I was talking with another cardiologist, and then we discussed, and I asked him, what do you think in the next 15 years to come, if this is the kind of food we are going to consume? And he was like, Daktari, things will be terrible. If right now we are sometimes even overworked, trying to help patients with heart problems because of diet. And they understand, most of the cardiologists, they understand that food is the major cause of any heart problem. And especially like processed meat, saturated fats, refined carbohydrates, packaged foods, those ones, apart from bringing heart problem, they bring other diseases in our system. So if we can take whole meals, why do we say don't take these, do these? Because most of the food which are processed, they are robbed of nutrients. You know, it's not only the calories we need. We need vitamins in that food. We need minerals on those foods. We need phytonutrients in those foods. We need the information in that food that will feed our cells, that will feed our immune system, that will feed our microbiome, it will feed our angiogenesis, it will feed our stem cells and DNA. We need that information from that food. And the information we get them from whole food, not processed food. Food doesn't rot. We say food does rot, but if food doesn't rot, that is not food. When you go and get your food and then the shelf life is long, and then you are like, this is so good for me because it has a longer shelf life. We say the longer the shelf life, the shorter your life. Because most of that food is robbed of nutrients, and they fortify it and they add additives. And those additives, they don't give information to your cells what they need to get. They give opposite information. So what happens? You start becoming sick. So food is the key. In the medical world, they are trained to practice drugs in your body. They are never trained about food. So they know nothing about food. In the 5 years course or the 7 years course, 6 years course, they are trained about diet only 1 month. So what will they get about it? So most of the time they are trained to practice drugs in your body, which is okay. It's a good course. But now, before you come to drugs, what can this person do to prevent? Prevention, we say, it's better than curing.
Always.
So what are you eating? Like now, most of the people, they think eating healthy is expensive.
I mean, Daktari, imagine an apple a day. Who will afford? Say you're a family of 7. You all know how expensive apples can be. And someone is telling you an apple a day will keep the doctor away. Apple itself is a luxury. I mean, look at the vegetables. Look at the organic foods today. Those ones that we are recommended to eat. They're quite expensive. And I mean, we keep talking about the high cost of living today. So then one says, bora chakula si chakula bora, you know, fortified or not, at least I can fill my tummy. It appears to be very expensive to eat healthy today.
Somehow it is, and somehow it's not. Why? Because like now in up countries, like now it's raining.
Yes.
Most of the people, they don't know we have edible weeds.
That's true.
Yes.
Lots of them.
Which are nutritious and they have medicinal value in your system. We have things like blackjack. So the people, they don't know it's edible. It's edible. It's good for your smoothies. It's good for your juicing. It's good for your steamed vegetables. We have dandelion. We have chickweed.
Yeah.
We have them in our farms and they are growing freely. And no one will ask you, why are you taking my weeds?
My weeds.
In
fact, they will be happy.
They will be happy.
Yeah.
So we have, like now when it's raining like this, I take advantage of edible weeds. We have something we call purslane. It grows in our gardens, a weed, freely. Those things, when you take them, you put them in your blender, then you put avocado and you put some ripe bananas or apple or avocado, you blend with some water, then you make that raw porridge. I call it raw porridge.
Yeah.
Yes, then you take that. That is what your cells needs.
Right.
That is what the body needs to rejuvenate. That's what the body needs to recreate. We have sukuma wiki. We have colons and we have sukuma wiki. Those are two different things. People doesn't know. The one we call sukuma wiki, it's not sukuma wiki. That is colons, in English. The one which is curled, they call it sukuma matumbo.
Yeah.
That is what we call kales.
Okay, interesting.
You see, the kales, they call them king of vegetables. If you can get the colons, the kales and spinach, put them in your blender, because also when you cook them, you overcook them. You rob them of nutrients.
So the rawer the better.
Vitamins and minerals are gases.
Yeah.
So when you cook most of the food, the minerals and vitamins, they evaporate. The more you eat raw food, especially we people who are over 40 years, I talk about people who are over 40 years. Today we are starting from 35 because the diet is extremely poor. So people who are over 35 years, incorporate in what you are doing raw food.
Okay.
You are eating a mandazi here. You want to eat a mandazi, not a problem. But don't eat a mandazi with the tea. Eat mandazi with vegetable salads. Eat mandazi with steamed vegetables. But when you combine the wrong combination, eat your chapatis. Even if you're doing dengu, the lentils, the green grams, the potatoes, make sure you incorporate steamed vegetables or raw vegetables.
So a bit of carrots
I encourage raw vegetables because they are 100% fiber, 100% vitamins and minerals. They are 100% alkaline. So most of the cooked food is acidic. Most of the cooked food, they are robbed of fiber. So when they go to the system, they stuck in your colon. When they stuck, because there is body temperature, they decompose. Anything decomposing, it has byproducts. It will create gas, acid, mucus, bad smell. You'll start feeling fatigued, joint ache, you get what we call a headache, because whatever is in the content in your colon is what is being absorbed into your blood, fed to your cells. Food is not eaten by the stomach. Food is eaten by cells. So the healthier your cells, the healthier you. The sicker your cells, the sicker you.
And it shows the beauty of it. Look at Daktari's skin, and I mean, many constantly when you hear people are asking, tell Daktari to tell us, you know, what's her typical favorite diet. You know, Daktari will come here and ask for water. I am here taking my coffee. She says, can you just give me my glass of water? If it is juice, Daktari will tell you she wants a fresh juice. She invites you for her birthday. Daktari is taking herbal cake. You know, Daktari, sometimes you surprise me. So we have two cakes, and then there's now that cake that we all run to. And you ask yourself, really, isn't this too much work? But look at her. Yes. So what is this that you eat on a daily? Perhaps we'd say is not expensive. It's manageable. It's something that will not get you a little bit worked out. And I mean, you just get it right.
I say feed your cells, not your stomach. Your cells will not take anything. And if you force them to take anything, they will start growing abnormally. That is why cancer is rampant today. Because cancer is abnormal growth of cells. They mutate. Why? Because of what they feed through your blood. You see? And that is why most of the time I've talked about oncologists, they cut the flow of blood. But that is not the solution to cancer cells. You need to remove what is the cancer cells feeding on from the blood. So that is what, when we come to talk about detoxification, we talk about detoxification. We detoxify. We remove this kind of food. You have been eating food-like. You know, there is food and food-like. There is food and food products. So when you eat food products and food-like, the body is, that kind of food is still circulating in your organs, in your kidney, in your liver, in your cells, in your blood, in your joint, and that is what is bringing what we call wear and tear of tissues in the system. That is what is suppressing your body defensive mechanism, because food is like bullet. You see, food is like bullet. You give it to the system take it, and then it balances your system. So, but when you give the wrong food, when I talk about the wrong food, people may ask, which is this wrong food? I've talked about processed food, a lot of carbohydrate, refined carbohydrates, bottled food, soft drinks, you see, packaged juices, you see, most of the packaged juices, you find 30% is fruit, 70% is additives, and food colors. You see, you are taking orange juice, but you find your tongue is colored. That is not juice. Because when you take an orange, you don't color your tongue. You see? So there is those food-like products. And these food-like products, I don't say you don't take them completely. Once in a while you can, but it is good to avoid as much as possible because you are feeding your body defensive mechanism the wrong information. And the first stage to bring problem is in your microbiome. It will imbalance your microbiome, then it will affect your immunity, then your immunity will affect your stem cells, then your stem cell will affect your genesis, then your genesis will affect your DNA. That is how it goes. So if the first place you did the right thing in your system, the other body defensive mechanism, they will be strong enough to fight any pathogens. Sometimes I tell people, the cancer cells can go to the point of a nail, but because the body defensive mechanism, they have the right food, they fight, and even you not realize you have ever gotten cancer cells in your system.
Interesting.
Because the information that you give. And then I say this, what type of food are you taking? I talk about colors. Don't take one type of color. God did not create food in one color. We were given food in different type of colors. Because different type of colors, they affect this body defensive mechanism differently. You see, we have the purple and the blue color. They contain the chemical compound. You see, when I say food is medicine, you need to tell people what is this medicine in this food. There is this chemical compound in purple colors and blue colors we call adenosines. Adenosines, they feed the right information to your DNA. We have what we call flavonoids. Flavonoids, we get them in dark chocolate. We say the darker the chocolate, the better. The better the flavonoids, you see? So I'm not talking about the other chocolates that the girls like, not that one. That is chocolate like.
Please don't go around taking chocolates. Look at those girls. They're so excited for a moment. You're wrong.
But I'm talking about dark chocolate, which is very expensive. It's from 700 shillings. One chocolate. Why? Because it has medicinal value in it. We have green tea. That's my favorite. It contains antioxidants. It's full of flavonoids. So it's good for my heart. It's good for my stem cells. They stimulate my stem cells. You see, like when you take the green tea, the dark chocolate, those people will have coffee, but not too much of coffee. If you take a cup of coffee, not light coffee, we call it light or dark coffee, coffee without milk, that is what your stem cells need. So the stem cells, when you take this kind of food, the stem cells comes out like bee. They come for this food.
Defense of,
Then they rejuvenate your system. That's why the skin looks like this. Because you are feeding it what it entails. You're feeding the stem cells. The stem cells, they rejuvenate your skin. That is how it goes.
Supplements. And I mean, they seem to work for very many people, and most of the times you'll be told supplements are the best. That has no side effects. That nini, you know, instead of me taking a lot of oranges, unanipatia one tablet that you know will cover all the nutrients that I require, as much as that one orange would have. Wouldn't I go for that?
Most of the supplements, they are not recognized by our body. because the body was not created to take supplements. The body was created to take food.
Yeah.
You see, when you are supplementing, what are you supplementing? You are supplementing food.
Okay.
Instead of taking
you're not taking food.
Yeah, you're not taking food.
All right.
Now you are supplementing food in form of pills, soft gels, you see. But I see, there are some people who cannot get vegetables. They are in dry places.
Yeah.
Those people can do supplements. Okay. There are some people who cannot reach certain kind of foods. They need supplements. To supplement that kind of food, they cannot reach. But now in Kenya, most of the places, like now it's raining everywhere. We have this kind of food, like carrots. Carrots, they are very, very effective for your stem cells, angiogenesis, your DNA, your microbiome, and you find that most of the people, they will eat cooked carrot only. You see, when you cook carrot, it changes into vitamin A.
Yeah.
When you eat it, when it is raw, it is very high in what we call beta carotene. You see, and carrot juice, beetroot juice, and apple juice, I have applied it to my patient with cancer. They were given 16 chemotherapy. After doing juice for 1 month, the doctor says you will go 5 chemotherapies.
Wow. So that means this can reverse it. And I think that's where we had left it when we went for that, sad...
We have wheatgrass. Yeah. Instead of taking supplements, plant your own wheatgrass. Because you see, from the garden, the drying process, the grinding process, to the capsules, you see that process, it has taken a long process to reach into your body. So the content, which is supposed to help you, is going down. The more it is being processed, the more it's going down. But when you can get a whole apple, a whole carrot, a whole lettuce, a whole spinach and beetroot, they are very effective for high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Because of nitrates, they help the blood vessels to dilate. You see, so we can use food as medicine.
Yes.
When we talk food is medicine, we mean the chemical compound in cabbage, the chemical compound in beetroot, the chemical compound in pomegranate, the chemical compound in dragon fruit, that you eat this dragon fruit as food, and at the same time it has chemical compound that if there is a disease, it will help to reverse the disease.
Daktari, unajua dragon fruit, the cheapest is 200. Wacha tumalizie hapo. I mean, how do we sum it up? Dragon fruit moja ile ya streets ni 200.
I have talked about chickweed, blackjack, I have talked about the delion.
You have no excuse.
There's no excuse. You have talked about spinach, you have talked about carrots. But now, eat them when they are raw in form of juice, salads, and smoothies. Don't overcook them. If you cook, steam your vegetables.
Yes.
Never eat any carbohydrates. You see, with people with diabetes type 2, they are being shocked because when I tell them, don't do anything white. Eat meat and vegetables. Sometimes they call it ketonic diet. Eat meat and vegetables and whole grains, beans, quinoa, black beans with vegetables. And I tell them, don't come to my place for 2 months.
Wow.
And after 1 month,
there's a difference.
The sugars are down.
And you have to be patient, by the way. So don't eat. And I am going to my 1 week of being disciplined nutritionally. Normally, Daktari, when she comes on board, that 1 week na behave, nasahau, and then when she comes back, but it has helped. At least, in as much as I'm not religious in all this aspect of nutrition, somehow it works for me. Daktari, as we close in 2 minutes, as you also tell them how they can get a hold of you.
Okay. I'll talk about fasting. Fasting is also so good. Not the Mackenzie one. The nutrition of fasting. Fasting is the best medicine in the world. But it will never advocated in medical world because it doesn't bring money. But fasting is the best medicine. I say you can fast on smoothies for a whole week. You can fast on juices. You can fast on vegetable salads. Or you can combine all of these salads, smoothies, and juices and fast for a whole month. You are now, what are you doing? You are resetting the body. You are rejuvenating the body. You are rejuvenating your system. Try to reduce cooked food. And even if you're going to eat cooked food, eat 20% cooked food, 80% raw food. And not at night. At night, I advocate smoothies, juices, and not fruits. Vegetables. Vegetable juices, vegetable smoothies, and also salads. Because you don't need sugars, a lot of sugar. At night, it will ferment. So I have my cell phone number. It's Dr. Rose John here. My cell phone number is 0723 390-411. That is my cell phone number. Dr. Rose John. My Facebook page is Adams Natural Health Center. TikTok, Rose John Nutritionist 1. You'll get me there. You'll get my cell phone number there. And maybe I can send you more details when you reach me via the phone. Check
Daktari out and thank me later. Thank you so much, Dr. Rose John, for speaking to us. It was all about, nutrition and disease. Great insights right there. If you're just tuning in, you need not to worry, because we have this, on our social media platforms. It will be there. Go back and get to listen to what it is Daktari says. Beyond that, as she says, you can follow her and listen to some of the nitty-gritty